Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spock with another installment of Building a Team. So, first off, last time we did 300-point modern. For working on in that environment, I ended up just running the X-Force team in all three games. It actually performed rather well. There were probably some issues with map placement. I also got to play a game with the Spider-Man team, which sadly I learned looking at. I discovered that my source for what isn't modern legal was not up to date, and EarthX Spidey was not. EarthX is no longer modern. So yeah. Anyway, so our next game is going to be 600 points Silver Age. Now, first off, for those who might not be aware, Silver Age, excuse me, as a HeroClix format, refers to carded figures that have their dial on the back of the card. So, that means anything from Superior Foes of Spider-Man onward. So, let's get started. First off, we got ourselves an Avengers team. Kicking off said team is AIM Red Squad. Red Squad comes in at 20 points. Has the AIM, Avengers, Hydra, and Soldier keywords, as well as a trait. Security and Tactics Division. At the beginning of the game, for all characters with this trait, choose Empower or Enhancement, and they can use the chosen power of this game. If they are part of a named theme team, you can choose both. Well, Avengers is a name. I don't think that really matters anymore with the changes to theme rules, but still, probably best just to do it this way. So, yeah. Anyway, next up we've got AIM White Squad. AIM White Squad comes in at 30 points, has the AIM, Avengers, Hydra, and Scientist keywords, as well as the Science and Engineering Division trait. At the beginning of the game, for all characters with this trait, choose out Wit or Perplex. Chosen power for this game, name theme team, both. Next, we've got AIM Blue Squad. Blue Squad comes in at 40 points. Again, AIM, Avengers, Hydra, Politician, and Scientist keywords. We got a trait, Administration and Research Division. Leadership. If AIM Blue Squad is part of a named theme team, friendly characters with the AIM keyword consider other friendly characters within 3 squares of the line of fire to be adjacent while using Enhancement, Empower, Leadership, and Support. Okay. Though, to be fair, those are the only 3 figures with the AIM keyword, so that's not going to really be due to... Oh. Of course, we're going over everything but the dial. So here's Red Squad's dial, forgot to mention. We get a click of Sidestep, 2 clicks of Flurry, 3 clicks of Toughness. Can't believe it. White Squad, we open up with nothing on speed and a couple clicks of Sidestep. We get a click of Incapacitate on attack. On defense, we open up with a click of Initial Deflection, followed by a couple clicks of Defend, and we get some mid and late dial support on damage. A Blue Squad, we get a full dial of Sidestep. Nothing on attack to start with, but he clicks into Penetrating Psychic Blast. On defense, we open up with Mastermind, which then gives way to Barrier for the rest of the dial. Damage-wise, we open up with a click of Probability Control, and we get a couple clicks of Enhancement in the middle, and a click of Empower at the end. Not too shabby. Next up, we've got Captain America. Cap here comes in at 50 points, has the Avengers team ability as well as the Avengers and Soldier keywords. Looking at his dial, we open with a couple of Sidestep, followed by Charge for remaining clicks on speed. Nothing on attack. On defense, we open with a couple clicks of Initial Deflection, followed by Combat Reflexes. Then on damage, we got a special power, Respected Leader. Captain America can use leadership, but succeeds on a 4 through 6. When he does, on a result of a 6, you may also remove an action token from each friendly character with the Avengers keyword within range. Cap's range, if you'll notice, is 5. So, if you roll a 6 on leadership, yeah, you can basically, okay, you can clear quite a bit of your team provided that they're within 5 squares of Cap. Next, we've got Voyager. Voyager also comes in at 50 points. Has the Avengers and Power Cosmic team abilities, as well as the Avengers, Elders of the Universe, and Cosmic keywords. We also have 2 traits. First off, I sense a greater challenge. At the beginning of the game, if an opponent's force includes an additional game element, heal Voyager 1 click back to starting line to click 0. ID cards, equipment, special terrain, and locations are considered to be additional game elements. Next up, we've got Avengers Assemble. Passenger 1. Passenger 3, but only to carry characters that share a keyword with her, and she may carry characters with Flight or Giant. Okay. So, looking at her dial, if there isn't an additional game element on the opponent's team, we got a full dial of phasing teleport. On attack, we open up with a special power, straining my powers of teleportation, which grants telekinesis, but only to place characters. When Voyager uses it, neither she nor the target character's square need line of fire to the destination square. Okay. Then on defense, we get a click of initial deflection. Damage, we open up with some perplex, then we get some outwit. Click 0, we open up with phasing, the attack special power, initial deflection, and outwit instead of perplex. Okay. Moving on, we've got Hawkeye. Hawkeye here comes in at 75 points, has the team player wildcard ability. Likely he'll be copied, likely, you guys, TV will friend copy, trust me. We'll get into that later. But keyword-wise, we got Avengers, Shield, Thunderbolts, and Martial Artists. We also have improved targeting. May make range attacks out of adjacency, including target adjacent opposing characters. We have 2 traits. First off is Assembled Avengers. Once per turn, when Hawkeye hits after resolutions, you may roll a d6. On a 5 or a 6, if your force has 3 or more friendly characters with the Avengers keyword, remove an action token from Hawkeye, or give an action token to a hit target. If your roll has 6 or more characters with the Avengers keyword, do both. Next up, we've got, trait-wise, we have Not Tricks Tactical, which grants Precision Strike. And it says that he can use his Precision Strike and or Range Combat Expert even while targeting more than one target. Okay. Okay. And he does get some late dial Range Combat Expert after all. But yeah, looking at his dial, we open up with a special speed power, Hawkeye, which grants Running Shot, Sidestep, and Stealth. We get some mid to late dial sidestep, followed by one last click of Hawkeye. On attack, we open up with a couple clicks of Incapacitate. We get some mid to late dial energy explosion, and back to Incapacitate. Defense, we open up with a couple clicks of Willpower, followed by a few clicks of close combat or of initial deflection, and then back to Willpower. On damage, we open up with a couple clicks of Leadership, and the rest of the dial is Range Combat Expert. Okay, all right. Next up, we've got Agent Anti-Venom. Agent Anti-Venom here comes in at 75 points. Has the Spider-Man ally wildcard team ability, as well as improved movement, ignores elevated terrain and hindering terrain. We've also got the Avengers, Codex, Shield, Spider-Man family, Monster, and Soldier keywords, and 2 traits. First off is Cleansing Powers, support as a free action. Then Symbiote, which grants plasticity and shape change. Looking at his dial, and he is a secret identity character, but he'll be utilized not as a secret identity character, but as a regular character, so yeah, we're not going to worry about the secret identity dial. Looking at his dial, though, we get some charge, followed by sidestep on speed. On attack, we open up with Precision Strike, which then gives way to some mid-dial poison, and back to Precision Strike. Defensively speaking, you open up combat reflexes, which then gives way to super senses, and then on damage we open up with a special power. Wait, I haven't cured you yet. Outwit. Once per turn, when Agent Anti-Venom uses it, after resolutions, you can use Outwit at no cost, but only to target a character with the Spider-Man family or monster keyword. Okay, alright. Then we get some mid-dial Empower, and then back to the special power. Okay. Next up, we've got Black Panther. Panther here comes at 95 points, has the team player wildcard ability, as well as the Avengers, Illuminati, Wakanda, Ruler, and Warrior keywords, and improved movement ignores elevated terrain and hindering terrain. Though hindering terrain isn't really a thing to talk about. Ignoring for movement anymore. We've also got 2 traits. First off is a constant trait, 5 points or 15 points, Bearer of the Gauntlet. Black Panther starts the game with anyone Avengers, Black Panther, and the Illuminati Infinity Gem equipped. If he paid 15 points, he may instead start with any Avengers, Black Panther, and the Illuminati Infinity Gauntlet equipped. We did pay the extra 5 points, and so he will be starting with the Time Gem. Next up, we've got Wakanda Forever. When Black Panther is KO'd, immediately after resolutions, heal a friendly character with 1 click. If that friendly character has the Wakanda keyword, also modify their attack and damage +1 until the end of your next turn. Okay? No one else on the team has Wakanda, so the last part of that's not going to really matter much. Anyway, looking at his dial, we open up with a couple clicks of charge on speed, followed by a couple clicks of sidestep and a couple clicks of flurry. On attack, we open up with a few clicks of special power, absorbed kinetic energy, which grants Quake. You can also use Quake as free, but only if he was hit since your last turn. That then gives way to a couple clicks of Blaze Claw's Fangs. On defense, we open up with a click of Invincible, followed by a few clicks of Toughness, followed by a few clicks of Super Senses. On damage, we open up with some Perplex, then we go to Outwit, then some Exploit Weakness. And considering he's got Flurry and Blades, if you can get that attack value up, you can do some damage there on the tail end. Anyway, as I said, he started with Time Gem, so there's that. Time Gem, modify range +1, probability control. When this character attacks, if the attack roll is 10 or higher, opposing characters can't use effects to re-roll attacks this turn. That's kind of a big deal there. But you have to roll a 10, 11, or 12. So the chances of actually pulling it off, not that great. Our last figure for the team is Captain Marvel. This is the chase from the Captain Marvel movie Gravity Feed set. She comes in at 150 points. Has the Avengers Initiative team ability as well as the Avengers, Kree, Shield, Cosmic, and Soldier keywords. Also, Avengers Initiative is the team ability that at least Hawkeye will be copying. So we've also got 2 traits. First off is Energy Absorption. When Captain Marvel takes 2 or more damage from a single attack after resolutions, note her current click number and then turn her to click number 11. If she will be KO'd, she can't turn to click number 11 though. Then, Kree Supremacy, Cosmic Awareness. Friendly characters that are adjacent or the Kree keyword have protected opposing probability control. If a friendly character is both adjacent and has the Kree keyword, it can use probability control but only the target itself. Well, no one else has the Kree keyword, and she can't be adjacent to herself, so she's protected from opposing probability control. Looking at her dial, on speed, we open up the special power Strafing Run, which grants improved movement and ignores characters, and running as well as Running Shot. When Captain Marvel uses Running Shot after resolution, she may use Charge at no cost, but can't target the same character. Okay, that then gives away a couple clicks of regular Charge, then some Flurry. On attack, we open up a couple clicks of Penetrating Blast, then we get some Super Strength, and then nothing after Super Strength. On defense, we open up with Invincible, which then gives way to Invulnerability, and then we jump up to Impervious. On damage, we got a few clicks of Leadership. We get a mid-dial of nothing, and then a few clicks of Ranged Combat Expert. Now, for click 11, we've got Hypersonic Speed, Pulse Wave, Special Defense Power, Supercharged, Impervious, Colossal Stamina. At the end of your turn, or if Captain Marvel will be KO'd, return her to the most recently noted click number. Protected, Outwit, and Pulse Wave. Now that basically means the power itself is. And we have nothing on damage. Now, one other thing is that we will be including on this team the Power Gem, which increases damage by 1 and also grants close and range combat expert. When the character hits on a 10 or higher, after resolutions, he'll deal a hit target 1 penetrating damage. Okay. Anyway, moving on to our next team, we have ourselves a Spider-Man family team. And yes, it does have some equipment, so bear with me. In fact, just so I can get to the other cards, I'm going to have to move some of these some of this equipment stuff. First off, we've got Ezekiel Sims. Ezekiel comes in at 50 points. He has the Spider-Man Ally team ability, as well as the Spider-Man family and mystical keywords. He also got improved movement, ignores elevated terrain, and as well as a trait, Protector of the Spider Totem. Barrier. Barrier is free, but only to place 1 marker adjacent to a friendly the Spider-Man family keyword. Okay. On this team, that'll be actually kind of useful. So, looking at his dial, we get a couple clicks of charge, followed by a couple clicks of plasticity. On attack, we open up with a couple clicks of super strength. On defense, we open up with a couple clicks of super senses. Then we get some mid-dial willpower and a final click of combat reflexes. On damage, we open up with a couple clicks of probability control, which then gives way to a few clicks of close combat expert. Alright, okay. Not too shabby. Not great, but not terrible. Next up, we've got Spider-Man from the Earth X. I want to say the starter? Yeah. Often referred to as Spider-Dad. Spider-Dad here has the PD team ability as well as the Earth X, Spider-Man family, police, and reporter keywords, and improved movement, ignores elevated terrain. Looking at his dial, we open up with a couple clicks of charge, followed by a couple clicks of plasticity and a couple clicks of flurry. On attack, we have a couple clicks of super strength, followed by a couple clicks of quake. The top half of the dial on defense is super senses, followed by combat reflexes for the back half. On deep damage, we open up with a couple clicks of perplex, and then we get a few clicks of empower. Okay. Next up, we've got Spider-Man from the Absolute Carnage Fast Forces. Spidey here comes in at 75 points, has the Spider-Man Ally team ability, as well as the Spider-Man family, reporter, and scientist keywords. We also have improved movement, ignores elevated terrain. And finally, we have a trait, Marvel Team Up. When establishing themed teams, choose a named keyword or character on your starting force has. Spider-Man gains that keyword. There aren't really all that many. This is a Spider-Man family team, so there's really not a point to doing that. There are other reasons, though, why this Spider-Man makes the cut. Looking at his dial, though, we open up with a couple clicks of charge, then we get some mid-running shot, followed by flurry at the end. On attack, we open up with a click of quake. In the middle 2 clicks, we've got incapacitate. On defense, we open up with a couple clicks of combat reflexes, and moving on to a couple clicks of super senses, another click of combat reflexes, and back to super senses. On damage, we open up with a little more than a few clicks of the special power Quips and Thwips, which grants leadership, but succeeds on a 4 through 6. That is why he's on the team. Then we get some, on the last 2 clicks, we got some perplex as well. Next up, we've got Venom. This is the Common Prime from Absolute Carnage. Venom here comes in at 80 points and has the Spider-Man Allied Team ability as well as the Codex, Maximum Carnage, Sinister Syndicate, Spider-Man Family, Monster and Reporter keywords, and Improved Movement ignores elevated terrain. We also have a trait, Symbiote Codex Hunter, which grants plasticity and shape change. When Venom KOs an opposing character after resolutions, heal 1 click. If that character had the Codex keyword, heal 3 clicks instead. Okay. Also, see your identity figure, but we won't be. He's going to be coming in. You know, he's part of the starting force like this, so we don't worry about the figure identity dial. Looking at his dial, though, we open up with a few clicks of special power. Driven Mad by Null. Charge, but do not have speed. When Venom uses it after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to each adjacent character, friendly and opposing. Okay. We get some regular charge followed by some flurry. On attack, we open up with some Blaze Claw's Fangs, and we get some mid-dial Quake and some late-dial Steel Energy. On defense, we open up with a click of Invulnerability, then we get Toughness for almost all but the last click of the dial. On the last click, we have a special power. The Symbiote is taking over, which is a stop click and grants Toughness. As a free action, you can roll a d6. On a 1, give Venom an action token. On a 2 through 5, choose one to last your next turn, Impervious or Regeneration. On a 6, heal 2 clicks. Okay. Then on damage, we have some mid to late dial Close Combat Expert. Alright, moving on, we've got Ghost Spider. Ghost Spider here comes in at 85 points. She has the Spider-Man Family and Celebrity keywords as well as improved movement, ignores elevated terrain, and improved targeting, ignores characters. We also have a trait, Dimensional Travel Watch, which allows us to start the game with the Dimensional Watch equipped at no cost. And that there is the Dimensional Watch. It grants phasing teleport, and when the character hits an opposing character, if no character has been placed this turn after resolutions, roll a d6. On a 3 through a 6, to place another friendly character with the Spider-Man Family keyword adjacent. Okay. Looking at her dial, she again, like Venom, she's also a special, and Agent Anti-Venom, she's also a secret identity character, but we're only worrying about the primary dial. We open up with special speed power on attack. You don't get to like my haircut. When given a move action, and Ghost Spider moves 5 squares or less, after resolution, she may make an attack. Okay, that then gives way to some hypersonic speed. On attack, we open up with some telekinesis, which then gives way to precision strike. On defense, we have super resistance for the entire dial. On damage, we open up with probability control, which then gives way to perplex. Okay. Next up, we've got Spider-Man. Spidey here comes in at 90 points. He has the Avengers, Spider-Man Family, Reporter, and Science keywords as well as the Spider-Man Allied Team ability. And improved movement ignores elevated training characters. We got 2 traits. First off is Signature Equipment Web Shooters. It allows Spider-Man to start with the Web Shooters equipped at no cost. The Web Shooters grant Spider-Man incapacity with a maximum range value of 4. When this character uses it hits, instead of giving an action token, you may have hit targets to gain immobile until your next turn. If they had 2 action tokens, they still take. It says they still take one penetrating, but that may. I think I mentioned this previously. That may no longer be the case anymore with incapacity, as the penetrating damage for if you have 2 has, if I remember correctly, been taken out. Next up is Protect My Family. Free. If no other friendly character has activated this trait this turn, choose an opposing character to attack a friendly character with the Spider-Man Family keyword since your last turn. Play Spider-Man such that he can make a close attack targeting the chosen character, then do so. So he can retaliate as well. Looking at his dial, we open up with a couple clicks of a special power, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Which rates Running Shot, And when he makes an attack or is attacked, after resolutions, you may move Spider-Man 1 square. We get a couple clicks of charge and a couple clicks of hypersonic speed. We get some mid-dial Quake, followed by some late-dial Precision Strike. On defense, we open up with Super Senses, which then gives way to Combat Reflexes, which then gives way to Initial Deflection. On damage, we open up with a couple clicks of Probability Control. Nothing in the middle, and then a couple clicks of Perplex. Very not bad. Very not bad indeed. Finally, we have Spider-Man in his Stark Industries Iron Spider armor. Spider-Man here comes in at 145 points, has the Avengers, Pro Registration, Spider-Man Family, Stark Industries, Armor, Reporter, and Scientist keywords, as well as 2 traits. First off is 3 Waldos. At the beginning of your turn, you may choose one. Flurry and Giant Reach 2, or Combat Reflexes and Stealth, or improved targeting may make range attacks out of adjacency, including against adjacent opposing characters, and 3 targets. Spider-Man can use the chosen effect until you choose again. Next up, we have Iron Spider Senses, which gets Super Senses, which is protected from Outwit. Okay? Then, looking at his dial, we open up with special speed power. What's he going to do? Fly, which grants Leap Climb, and when he uses it, after resolutions, he may be given a close at no cost. Okay? Then we get a couple clicks of Charge, followed by a couple clicks of Earthbound Neutralized. On attack, we open up with a Precision Strike for a couple clicks. Near the middle of the dial, we get a couple clicks of Super Strength, followed by a couple clicks of Incapacitate. On defense, we open up with a couple clicks of Invulnerability, followed by a few clicks of Toughness, then a couple clicks of Initial Deflection. On defense, damage, we open up with a couple clicks of Shape Change, then we get some mid-dial Perplex and some late-dial Outwit. Okay, and we have got some additional equipment to throw onto this team as well. First off, going on the Spider-Man from the Absolute Carnage starter is Wonder Woman's Bracelets. They cost 10 points. When unequipped, they drop. The effect grants the Wonder Woman team ability, which grants Super Senses but only succeeds on a 6, or if the character has Super Senses on their dial, printed on their dial, instead add one of the Super Senses roll. If this character has the Wonder Woman team ability printed on its base, Super Senses it can use gains protected Outwit. Okay, well that's not going to matter for this team. But the idea is basically that this Spider-Man gets the team ability, the Wonder Woman team ability, and can share with almost everybody else except for Spider-Dad. Then, to go on the Iron Spider Spider-Man, we've got the Octopus Arms. Again, these also cost 10 points. And grant Giant Reach 2, Flurry, as well as improved movement or elevated terrain. So, yeah, that's going to make Iron Spider a bit more mobile. And, since Flurry's a close, when he uses that opening special power, the Leap Climb, and then you can give him close after moving, well, that means he can give him Flurry. You know, he can basically, move up to 9 squares, then Flurry, and he can Flurry someone that's 2 squares away. Also means that he doesn't have to worry about picking Flurry and Giant Reach 2 for the 3 Waldos trait, freeing him up to pick either of the others. Alright, and next up, final team, we've got ourselves an X-Men team. Kicking things off, we've got Sage. Sage comes in at 40 points. She has the X-Men team ability as well as the Force and X-Men keywords. We have a trait, the Mutant CIA, which grants stealth as well as improved targeting, ignores hindering terrain. Looking at her dial, we have a full dial of sidestep. On speed, on attack, we have an opening click of telekinesis, and that is sadly it. On defense, we open up with a couple clicks of willpower, which gives away a couple clicks of super senses. On damage, we open up the special, or we have the special speed, or special power, team logistics and coordination, which grants leadership and outwit. Okay, all right. Some cheap TK plus leadership and outwit. Definitely not bad. Next up, we've got Elixir. Elixir here comes in at 40 points as well. Has the Hellfire Club, New Mutants, the 5, X-Force and X-Men keywords. We also have the trait, the 5, Elixir. When a friendly hero is chosen for the Krakoan Revival trait, after resolutions, heal each character adjacent to them one click. No one on the team has the Krakoan Revival trait, so that's not really going to be much good. Looking at his dial, we have a few clicks of sidestep, followed by a couple clicks of stealth on speed. Nothing on attack. On defense, we open up with a few clicks of invulnerability, followed by a couple clicks of regeneration. On damage, we open up with special power Omega level healing, which grants support. But Elixir and his target may be adjacent to opposing characters. When a friendly character uses the X-Men team ability, increase their D6 result by +2. Okay. When using the X-Men team, after healing a adjacent friendly character of one click, you roll a d6, and the one given the action on a result of a 1 through 4 takes 1 unavoidable damage. But with this, it becomes basically, unless you, on a 3 through 6, you're good. So, yeah. And then on his last 2 clicks, we have some exploit weakness. And something I actually forgot to mention with the Spider-Man team is we have an extra 5 points on it. We are using that for the Earth X Wakanda map, mainly because it does have a location bonus that allowing a friendly character occupying hindering terrain or water terrain to reroll its d6 for either Blaze Loss values or super senses. And seeing as how everyone's going to have super senses one way or the other at some point on their dial, that's going to come in handy. Anyway, back to the X-Men team. Next up, we've got Beast. This is Beast from the X-Men animated set. Beast here comes in at 50 points, has the X-Men team ability as well as the X-Men, Politician, and Scientist keywords. We also got improved movement towards elevated terrain and characters. Looking at his dial, we have a few clicks of sidestep, followed by a couple clicks of charge. Nothing on attack. On defense, we have a few clicks of combat reflexes, followed by a couple clicks of super senses. On damage, we open up a special power, a rose by any other name. Perplex, but only to target other characters. When Beast uses it, if the target shares a keyword with him, you may instead modify the value, except for damage, by plus or minus 2. Now, of course, you can't perplex damage at all anymore, but yeah. This then gives way to a couple clicks of Outwit. Alright, moving on, we've got Jean Grey. Jean here comes in at 50 points, has the X-Men team ability as well as the X-Men keyword. We got a trait, Scott. Unique modifier. At the beginning of your turn, you may choose a combat value. If Jean Grey is adjacent to a friendly character named Cyclops, modify the chosen combat value by +1. Okay. And looking at her dial, we've got a few clicks of mind control on attack, or on speed. On attack, we open up a couple clicks of telekinesis, followed by a couple clicks of penetrating blast, and back to telekinesis. On defense, we open up a special power, force field projection, which grants toughness. Also, friendly characters that are adjacent or have the X-Men keyword can use toughness. Okay, so we just get everyone toughness. Then we get a few clicks of energy deflection. Okay, moving on, we've got Tempest. Tempest here comes in at 50 points. She has the 5 and X-Men keywords as well as the X-Men team ability and improved targeting and make range attacks out of adjacency, including to target adjacent opposing characters. We've got 2 traits. The first off is the 5, Tempest, which actually won't really matter much because, again, no Krakoan Revival. But, which does kind of suck because, well, for a turn, you get to shut off opposing probability control. But, yeah. Next up is Unstuck in Time, which grants probability control, and allows her to use it any number of times per turn, targeting a different character each time. When she uses it, except the first time this turn, after resolutions, roll a d6. On a 1 or a 2, deal her 1 unavoidable damage and remove her from the map. If you do, at the beginning of your next turn, an opponent chooses a character on the map. Place her adjacent to that character. Okay? Looking at her dial, we get a couple clicks of Phasing Teleport, followed by a few clicks of Sidestep. On attack, we open up with a few clicks of Incapacity, followed by a couple clicks of Pulse Wave. On defense, we open up with some Inertial Deflection. Then on damage, we have nothing to start with for 3 clicks. Then the last couple clicks, we've got Perplex. Okay, alright. Next up, we've got Domino. Domino comes in at 60 points, has the X-Men team ability as well as the X-Force, X-Men, Assassin, and Spy keywords. We have a trait, the Mutant CIA, same as Sage, does the same thing, stealth, improved targeting, north injury terrain. Looking at her dial, we have a few clicks of Running Shot, followed by a few clicks of Sidestep. On attack, you have a special power for the first few clicks. Plant-based Kraken Arm Cannon. Free. Choose one. Energy Explosion. Incapacity with 2 targets, or Penetrating Psychic Blast. Domino can use that power this turn. Okay. On defense, we open up with a few clicks of Combat Reflexes, followed by a few clicks of Super Senses. On damage, we open up with a few clicks of Probability Control, followed by a few clicks of Close Combat Expert. Okay. Alright. So yeah, we've got 2, actually, yeah, 2 with Prob. We've got Outwitter. Yeah, we're, things are looking nicely. Looking nice, I'd say. Next up, we've got Cyclops, also from the X-Men animated series set. Cyclops comes in at 70 points, has the X-Men team ability as well as the X-Men keyword. He also has the trait, Jean. It's the same as Jean Grey's Scott trait. Only he has to be adjacent to a friendly character named Jean Grey to use it, so yeah. Next, looking at his dial, we open up with a couple clicks of a special power, Optic Blast, which grants Running Shot and Force Blast. Then we have some regular Force Blast, followed by a couple clicks of Sidestep. On attack, we open up with some Penetrating Psychic Blast, followed by a couple clicks of Precision Strike. On defense, we've got a nice block of Willpower, then a couple clicks of Toughness. On damage, we have a few clicks of the special power, Commanding Leader, which grants leadership. When Cyclops uses it and succeeds, after resolutions, choose another friendly character that shows a keyword and has 0 action tokens. This turn, that character has Free, Have Speed, then Move. And we finished up with a couple clicks of Ranged Combat Expert. Okay. Also, that special power can be very useful, especially with all the move and attack that is prevalent in this on this team. Next up, we've got Captain Britain. Good captain here comes in at 80 points. Has the X-Men team ability, as well as the Excalibur, X-Men Martial Arts, and Mystical keywords. We got 2 traits. First off is Excalibur, Mystical Protectors, which grants her the Mystics team ability but only triggers during range attacks. And she has protected Mystics, so she does not take the feedback damage that Mystics usually deals out. Next up is Telepathic Coordination, which grants leadership. When she uses leadership and succeeds, she may also remove an action token from a friendly character within range with the X-Men or Excalibur keyword. Okay. So we got 2 leaders and the potential to remove 2 tokens with one of them. Looking at her dial, we've got a nice long block of charge followed by a couple of plasticity. On attack, we open up with special power Psionic Arming Sword, which grants Blazeclaw's Fangs. Once per turn, when Captain Britain uses it, you may choose to reduce the d6 roll by 1 or 2. Choose before rolling. If you do, decrease the target's combat values by the same amount until your next turn. Okay, it could be risky, but yeah. That then gives way to a few clicks of regular Blade Claw's Fangs. On defense, we open up with a few clicks of Impervious, followed by a couple clicks of Toughness, followed by a couple clicks of Combat Reflexes. On damage, we open up with a decently sized block of Exploit Weakness, followed by a few clicks of Outwit. Okay. And now for the big boy on the team. Old Man Phoenix. Yes, we've seen him before, but it has been a while. Old Man Phoenix comes in at 140 points. Has the Cosmic Power team ability, which grants willpower as well as Safeguard Outwit. And can't be copied, sadly. Also has the Phoenix Force, X-Men, Cosmic, and Future keywords. We got 2 traits. First off is Mutant Regeneration and Cosmic Resurrection. At the beginning of your turn, roll a d6 and heal Old Man Phoenix half the result. Okay. Next up, the Earth was dead and gone. You should have left it that way. When an opposing character would be KO'd but isn't, after resolutions, give them an unwanted resurrection token. Characters with unwanted resurrection tokens can't heal, evade, or reduce damage. Okay. Looking at his dial, we've got a full run, 9 clicks of the special speed power. This time, nothing on heaven or earth can stop me, which grants Charge and Flurry. A full run of Blade Claw's Fangs on attack. On defense, we open up with Impervious for 1 click. We get a few clicks of Invulnerability, then some Toughness. Then on damage, we have a full run of the special power. Righteous Anger is all the fuel I need, which grants Battle Fury and Exploit Weakness. Oof, yeah. And with the various rules changes, yeah, Flurry and Exploit Weakness work together now. So yeah, he's gonna be, yeah, and he's just gonna be even worse when you see what things I'm adding to this. So we have 20 points left over. First off, ideally we put on Domino, we have Yarnborn. Yarnborn costs 10 points, and the character's attack rolls of 9 through 11 that hit count as critical hits. Okay, and as for Old Man Phoenix, well, we'll be giving him the Power Gem. Which, like I mentioned earlier with Captain Marvel, modifies the damage by +1 and grants closer range shot expert. And when the character hits on an attack roll of 10 or higher after resolutions, a hit target is dealt 1 penetrating damage. So yeah. And when you factor in how his stats will look with that, I mean, since he's got Battle for the entire dial, it'll be just close combat expert. But when you factor that in, he starts off he'll basically start off with a 13 attack for 6 damage with Flurry and Exploit. So yeah, I mean, hell, Captain Marvel with the Power Gem is going to be rocking a 12 attack with Penetrating Psychic Blast for 6 damage. So yeah. And she'll likely be toting around a name Red Squad. She'll basically have 7 damage going. She'll be doing at least 7 penetrating from range. And if you can set everything up right, you can outwit someone else's defense, outwit a reducer, and have her charge them for an additional 7. But anyway, that's it for now. Now, this build might be delayed if the shop that my group and I play at gets in product for the Rise and Fall pre-release this week. If so, well, I'll be doing a post pre-release building the team instead. If not, well, yeah. Anyway, that's all for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of the builds. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.